Hey everyone, hope you're all well. As always, welcome to a new video, another video on the LS Patrol. Sorry for no upload last week because I've been smashing out this thing and trying to get as much done as possible. First of all, got the bell housing all done. I'll show you that right now. So down here we have the bell housing all repaired and returned to us. I'll flip that over. There we go. Input shaft's just fallen out. So you can see it's been all machined up and welded and braced. It's been alloy welded through here, braced up. It's got little like ears he's put on, and on here as well. So it's all braced up now, so it's nice and strong. So hopefully we're not breaking that anytime soon. That's going to be nice and cool. Just want to say a huge thanks and a massive shout out to my friend Declan. He helped me out by coming to pick this thing up and dropping it off at the fabricators. We are in stage 4 lockdown, so it's hard getting to and from places as well as getting parts sorted and just buying stuff in general. So massive shout out to him. I'll put his Instagram in the description and that. Go follow him. He's got an RD28 Patrol, so go check him out. Also massive shout out to Proline Fabrication who did this, and if you're watching, you did an amazing job, man. Looks amazing. Obviously, for all you don't know, this is my GU LS1 Patrol for all you new subscribers. Also, thanks everyone. I'm nearly on 5,000 subscribers. Thank you so much. As always, I always say thank you when I hit a number, an even number like that. It's just, yeah, it's amazing. So thanks everyone for the support. So this is my LSGU Patrol for all you that don't know. Engineered, so I just got to get it on the road. So just got to fix up a few things. If you're watching the build series from the start, you'll know that it needs a few things done to it. So we got the gearbox out of it, and that's going to go in this episode. Fingers crossed. So show you what I've been doing off camera. I have a brand new rear main plate and seal on there. Also got the flywheel back on there, sanded all the surfaces on the flywheel and the pressure plate surface, so that's all mint. Clamped down the clutch, torqued all the bolts up, so that's all torqued up, all to spec, and I've tested the clutch, so it's not spinning in there, so that's good. That's one issue. I thought the clutch might have been spinning inside there, but no, the clutch is all installed the right way, so we all know that. And yeah, next thing I've got to do is just sort of move all this wiring out the way and get ready for the gearbox to go back on. But I've got to bolt the adapter onto the back of the engine first, and then we can start wiggling the gearbox in there. So with the gearbox installation, I'm thinking I might take the transfer case off just to make it a little bit easier. I've got an engine crane to hoist it up and down, but the transfer case does add a bit more weight to it. This thing's heavy enough as it is, so the only thing I like the transfer case being there for is I can jack it and rotate the box just to get that starter hump to clear. And then once we slide the box on, we can rotate it another 90 degrees and get it into the tunnel. Yeah, we'll see how we go. Never taken a transfer case off before, but I don't think it's too hard. Slide the box out and have a look. But I'm just amazed at this adapter plate. It looks, I want to hang it up on my wall. It looks so nice. Yeah, he's obviously machined all that. So, all right, enough babbling, and I'm going to start getting to work. So I think the first thing I'm going to do is bolt that adapter back onto the back of the engine, using those bolts there, and hopefully just pick at it bit by bit. I don't want to smash it out in one day and hurt myself again like I did last time. So before I put that on, there was another issue I wanted to just bring up with you guys, which I think why it wasn't running, besides this being broken, on the slave cylinder, which is still bolted into the car, not bolted, it's just hanging, there was a little nut that goes on the end of the pin that pushes the clutch fork. And I think that nut was to space out where the old clutch was wearing. When the previous owner put the new clutch in it, he left that little nut on there. So I think that little nut was spacing it where the clutch was actually engaging. So I think the clutch was engaged the entire time. I reckon if I took that nut off and just left the pin itself in there, that would have made the clutch bite the flywheel again. So I think that's a big issue. So I'm going to take that nut off and just run the pin on its own. And then once this is all bolted up and it's all solid, I think this should all work and engage. So let's bolt this onto the back of the motor. And with a bit of camera editing, we have one adapter plate bolted in. That looks wonderful up there. I just set the finger height for the clutch. That seems to be all good. So the thrust bearing mechanism can slide pretty freely through there, and we still have room. It's not going to bind there, and got enough room to do the clutch throw. It's actually quite easy bolting the adapter on. There's just one bolt in the top right hand corner, just up there. That's a bit of a pain, so you just got to get a spanner onto it, but they all went on pretty well. There's the bolts there for it, so they actually bolt onto the back of the block, and then the gearbox bolts onto the back of the adapter plate. Okay, now I've got the gearbox out on my trusty skateboard, and I had the jack under the back handbrake drum just to sort of help it slide out. Now it's on a brick, so it's sitting there. I'm probably just going to undo all these bolts and knock the transfer case off. It's got a main shaft that runs through there, I'm pretty sure. I've never done one before, so we're going to find out. I think I just undo those, just knock it back with a rubber mallet. And I think there's a main shaft that runs through there, so you just got to pop it off there. It's got the locating dowels in there, and then once it's off, that's just a big hunk of weight out of the way, and then we can strap the gearbox under here, under the main section, strap it under there so the weight's sort of even, and then put the transfer case on after we've bolted the bell housing and everything on. So that's how we're going to do it. Well, that's how hopefully it's going to work. So let's get undoing these bolts and yeah, get the rattle gun out. All right, so we got the gearbox set up here on a brick, and I've cracked some of these bolts with a breaker bar because it's a bit hard to get the gun in there, even with the extension. So now, hopefully I should just be able to wind them out like that. So the bolts that, I've just been putting them on the ground here. So the bolts that go in that way, keep them that way, and the bolts that go that way, like this one, keep them that way, just so they all go in the same place they came out from. So I'll keep going around doing them. Hopefully, very soon, we should be able to split this. All right, so now all the bolts are sort of undone. I just got to sort of start separating it here. So I've got a block of wood there, which I'll knock on the, what's this called? The flange for the front drive shaft. So what I want to do is I just want to knock it here and see if it starts splitting. Yeah, that's opening, yep. So I think it's going to keep massaging each side until it comes off. That's not going to work, I've got to put the wood there. But yeah, if you just keep giving it a nice hit, it's on some low, I can see the dowels just in there, you can just see the locating dowel in there. So just keep knocking it off until that pops off, and then hopefully I just want to get it to a point where it pops off enough that I can just wiggle the box out. It's coming apart now, just giving it some even wax there. Yeah, it's coming off pretty evenly now. A big ass screwdriver here with like a blunt tip, so won't really dig into the sort of moving it around. Oh, it's actually, oh shit, it's coming out. All right, let's get this out before I drop it. Done. All right, sweet. So just with a little bit of wiggling, that sort of popped that out. So not too bad. I think gearbox oil might piss out of that seal, so I might wrap a rag around that and shove a rag in there with a plastic bag and like lacquer band, something to keep the gearbox oil in. Yeah, so sweet. The gearbox, the transfer case is off, so I'll move that to the side. We can put that on later. Good thing is it's got locating dowels and that, so you just got to wiggle it. First time I've ever done that, so it's actually not too hard. Can't wait to see how it's going to be putting it in the car, but I'm sure putting the actual trans in is going to be a lot easier than before. Well, that's what I hope. All right, everyone, I have to tell you my absolute love for skateboards at the moment. I've got my longboard for the transfer case to move that around, and gearbox is gone because I use my skateboard and literally just ran the gear. It's so much lighter. Like, I know all you patrol guys are like, should have taken it off first, but you know, you live, you learn. Oh, it's just so easy to move shit around when you got like casters or skateboards and shit. So roll the gearbox right under there, it's so much lighter. So it's actually rotated on its side, so you can see both the mounts are pointing out this way, so I can lift it up as it is there because the starter hump's at the bottom, and then once I slide the input shaft into the back of the adapter, I can rotate the gearbox for the starter hump to go up to the top where it usually is. So and then line the dowels up. So next thing I've got to do is set up the engine, oh god, set up the engine crane in here, have the crane just pick it up from here, and then have the jack on the back of it, and we'll just massage it in really ever so slightly or ever so gently. All right, everyone, so we've got the crane set up here. I didn't really film any of me setting it up because it takes a long time and it's just really boring. So I've got the crane set up, and that's all the way down because we've got to pick the gearbox up. I've just put it on the lowest setting, the lowest weight setting, just so the boom extends nicely. It's sort of sitting on the edge of the concrete here, but these wheels are the only ones actually touching, and it's not going to roll anywhere once it grabs the gearbox. I'll put that extension shaft on the end of the gearbox, so that will sit inside the adapter plate. And then on the back here, we've got the jack ready to go. Skateboard's still under it, so once the crane lifts it up, I'll put the jack just on the back here, and then we'll lift it up together. Very, very carefully move it forward and back, and just get it that sweet spot where it will sit inside. So getting closer, guys. I don't want to bore you too much with this, so we'll skip ahead until we're right onto the back of the motor with the gearbox. Nearly got the gearbox lined up, almost there, and it starts raining. Well, it's starting to rain now. My luck, my absolute luck. There's no rain forecast for today either. That's the most annoying thing. Let's keep going. All right, guys, you guessed it. I have run out of daylight, as always. Working night shift does this to you, as you only have a few hours of the daylight. So the gearbox is under there. You can't really see it at the moment, but the gearbox is under there on stands, and the jacket's still up inside the tunnel. So I'm actually really, really close to getting it in. I've just got the the gearbox right up there. It's just because it's getting so dark now, it's just so hard to, it's pitch black under the car. It's so dark, so even with the light it's just really hard. So I'm just gonna come back tomorrow with a bit of a fresh mind and get it sitting in there, and then bolt the transfer case on behind it. So I've slipped the front input shaft in the back of the engine, so the actual input shaft on the Nissan box is shorter, so I can push the bell housing all the way up to the front and then push it up. I'll show you what I mean tomorrow. But yeah, we'll come back to it tomorrow and hopefully have it all in and start putting the drive shafts and everything in. First of all, we'll put it in gear, put the slave cylinder on, just test it and make sure we've got some compression when we move the car. So yeah, we'll see you tomorrow when I wake up and get this thing closer to finished. So okay everyone, it's day number 2 now, and just woke up before I had some brekkie and put this thing back together, or what I mean by set it up. Yeah, so just got this set up in the crane again. Just gonna hook that around the strap. I'm gonna put the strap a little bit further back, that way we can have more sway. I did actually catch the engine crane on my AC button, and that's taken off somewhere, so I don't know where that's gone. All the dials are good, just gotta be careful about that. And yeah, so hopefully I got the jack stand and another jack stand on the bottom supporting the box there, so we'll take them off once we jack it up and use the jack to jack the front of the bell housing up, line the bell housing. Easier said than done, but it's a pain in the ass to film because when I put the camera under there, I end up knocking it over because I got that much crap going on under there. So fantastic, it's been like 2-3 hours and I've gotten absolutely nowhere. So what I'm finding is when I'm sort of wrestling it into the tunnel, no matter what angle I have it at, it just gets jammed, and the tunnel's been hit, it's been knocked out to compensate. But I just got to find a perfect sweet spot, and it's so hard doing it on your own, jacking it up, and then it wants to keep falling over and falling off the jack. And like right now it's just on the crane itself, so I can sort of move it around, but it's just sketchy as it's so hard. But I'll find a way, don't worry, I'll find a way to get it on. I'm optimistic, so it's probably gonna take a week to do just to freaking put it in. Yeah, it's a bit of a letdown, but at the same time, you know, just sort of learning is how it goes. It came off so easy, like once you rotated it, it just slid off, and I don't know, I can't get the engine to go back any further. It's the cylinder heads are pressed up against the firewall. Yeah, it's just taking it all out of me, you know, fucking all day. I've been working on this all day, I had the gearbox up and down, like off the ground, redid the strap probably about 10 to 12 times. I'm gonna give it one more go, and then if not, we'll come again tomorrow. Yeah, I'm not gonna be annoyed about it or sad, as annoying as it is, but just gonna keep pushing, I guess. I'm telling you guys, next time I do this, engine's coming out first. But good news. Well, let me get under here. Yeah, we're nearly there. Just got to press it in now. I just sort of aligned the fork. So I've just got the fork sitting in there now, so that way when we push the gearbox forward, it should all line up, and I'll just snap it onto the ball joint pin thing, whatever it's called, pivot ball, that's it. And then yeah, hopefully push that on. And then once I bolt the bell housing up, I'll bolt the slave on, just test it all, and then I'll bolt the transfer case on. So getting there slowly, guys. Okay guys, update number 2. So got the bell housing sort of almost mated up, just got the bottom 2 bolts run in, and one of the bolts that are just up there past the slave. Got the slave mounted on, clutch fork and pivot ball and all that. So that's sort of sitting in there. So I haven't got that nut that was on the slave before, so it's got a little bit of slack, but obviously it'll be taken up when we tighten it down. And then hopefully that pin does what it's supposed to. Yeah, once I bolt it down, I'm just going to put it in gear and see if it works. So yeah, all I gotta do is I gotta whack the ones up in the top through the shifter hole like we did in the previous episode, how we got them off. I'll buzz all the bolts around here, put the starter on, put the transfer case on, and just slowly put it back together. All right guys, I am bloody exhausted, but we have the gearbox bolted on, and we have the clutch mechanism. Oh my god, you stupid magpie or crow. So we have the clutch slave bolted on, the forks all good to go. So I've got the gearbox bolted on. I still got to put the transfer case and stuff on, but I want to test the clutch first and make sure we got full clutch engagement without that bloody nut. So I'm going to push on the clutch, and I want to see if this engages. If it engages fine without the spacer, that's going to let me know that it was disengaging the clutch with that nut on there. So that could have been the issue the entire time. So what do you reckon, guys? I was actually going to review the footage and see if it worked, but then I could actually see the clutch fork through the shifter hole as I was working it, and I saw it was all working. So I was like, holy shit, that's a good sign, because I was hoping that it wasn't. If it was moving a tiny bit, I would have known that that nut was actually doing something. But I might leave it for today here because I want to start tomorrow with some fresh light, as I'm always running out of light. I can't wait for daylight savings, oh my god. So yeah, as you know, GoPros film shitty at night, so I'm gonna stop it here. And we'll come back tomorrow, same time, same place, and hopefully we have somewhere closer to a running vehicle. Running and driving, of course. It was always running. I'm excited. All right, guys, we'll see you tomorrow. Ciao. All right, guys, so I woke up nice and early on this nice sunny day and set up the engine crane again and the jack under the back of the transfer case. So I've got that sort of just sitting there, so I can jack the engine crane up and the transfer case together, and hopefully we can slide that in and bolt that up. Alright, we have transfer case bolted in now. That was actually a piece of piss, so as you can see I sort of jacked it up with the crane and then had the jack on the drum at the back and just sort of leveled it up and then slid the shaft on, rotated it, lined up the dowels, bolted it on. Beautiful. So next thing I'm going to do is probably drop the gearbox down as much as I can, plug all the wiring in on the other side, and then jack it back up again and put the cross member over and then start doing the drive shafts and stuff. Woohoo! Getting there slowly. I'll whack the shifter into neutral and then we'll spin the rear output shaft. So yeah, that spins. Cool. Okay, and now into first, and hopefully that output shaft should stay still. So grab the output shaft and yeah, perfect, it's in gear now. Beautiful. Now it's a big thing for this car to actually be in gear because it never actually went into gear at all, even when I had it, when you tried transfer case. And that was, I think it was because of that slave cylinder. So, but it's good to see that it's in gear now. That means it should hopefully drive. And then once everything's in and tail shafts are bolted on, I'll try and roll it without starting it. And if it binds up in gear and I push the clutch in, then it rolls freely. I know that's doing what it's supposed to do. So yeah, we're getting there. And the next thing I'm going to do is actually put the cross member on, bolt the gearbox in properly. I got the, where is it? Got the starter motor here. And then obviously we'll line our manifolds up and bolt them on. Do the tail shafts, or one tail shaft, and the front drive shaft just bolted onto the transfer case. We're getting there very slowly. I don't know if I'll get it running today. I maybe get up first thing tomorrow, because tomorrow's Friday, and I've got the battery on charge. I might need fuel because the fuel level was very low. Yeah, I just got the battery set up here on the charger. It says it's charged, but I'm just gonna let it charge overnight, so it's got full charge. Yeah, hopefully get it to a point today where everything's pretty much done. Then tomorrow I can triple check all the bolts and nuts and crap, and yeah, I'll check the oil levels and everything. I'll top up the gearbox oil just a little bit. Yeah, and we'll try and take it for a first drive. Sounds exciting. all right guys. Yeah, let's get back into it and stop waffling on as always. Well, as you can see, cross member is in, so the gearbox is finally properly bolted in. So yeah, very excited now. Fucking man, what a day. I've been going since like 11 and it's like now 4, so just been taking it really slowly. So yeah, it's getting there. So now we're just gonna put I've already put the front drive shaft in, just sat that in there. Still gotta do the bolts up. Just gotta do the rear drive shaft now. Let's keep going. Okay guys, so after bolting all that stuff in, last thing I just did was the starter motor, and I just bolted the headers on. Got the headers bolted back on. So I've been going for nearly 7 hours today, so got a lot done. I'm so happy with how much progress I got in the day. It's almost ready to start. All I got to do is just I got to check the fluids, re-top up the gearbox oil. I've got the crossover exhaust pipe I got to put on that goes to the rear pipe, so that's the last thing I got to install. The airbox is here, but I don't think I'll really need to install that. Leave it open for now. Tomorrow potentially might be its first drive of me owning it, so you can tell I'm bloody G'd up for this. I know you guys are really excited to see how it goes, and I'm exhausted today. I'm always exhausted, you know. I got to go to work soon as well because it's night shift life. But yeah, I'm excited with the progress. Keep saying it. We'll try and go for a drive tomorrow, so we'll see you then. Oh, okay, it's like day number like 1 million. So this is the last bit I have to put on, just the wipe pipe or crossover pipe that runs under the sump for the exhaust. It's going to sound nuts even with the way it is now, so I'm not going to put anything interior wise in. Like, I'm just going to sit the knob on and drive it, just in case something goes wrong. I have to pull it all apart again. Screw that bugger on, and the transfer case one, because I want to test the transfer case out. I don't think I have power steering. I haven't got any fluid. I checked everywhere in the shed, but there's none. Seems to be fluid in there, not much. It didn't have power steering when it was idling, so hopefully maybe it might come on when we start working the steering, when it's going, or if it goes. And then yeah, I'll try and get it to work, because it has some fluid in the system. Because of stage 4, I can't even go to like an auto parts store, because they're all closed. You got to do click and collect, and a lot of the ones in my area are actually closed. So all right guys, we got the whole exhaust bolted in and sort of just shoved it in the back there where it was before. It's going to leak again, but who cares? Sorry for the noise in the background. Mum's mowing the lawns at the moment. So all right, next I'm just going to do a quick fluid check and double check everything, and hopefully we should be able to start it. Yeah, I'm gonna go get the battery, put it on, get power to it, and we'll try crank it over and see if she wants to go. Alright guys, so sorry about the sun. I just put the key in and turned it, and we got accessories and everything, but we got no starter or fuel pump again. So I don't know what's going on. I haven't mucked around with any of this wiring at all. I haven't mucked around with anything else. The starter wiring seems to be all good. I just checked it all, it's all in the right spot. All this wiring crap that's for like accessory switches at the back here, something's either unplugged or come undone or something, so I'm gonna have a good look around and see what's going on. I checked all the fuses, obviously. You're probably gonna ask that. I checked all the fuses and they seem to be all sweet. Starter fuse is good. We got relays clicking and stuff, so if something's gone wrong, I'm not sure, so I'm gonna have another look around and see what's going on. All right guys, so it's like day number 6 or 7, I can't remember what I'm on now, and cracked the shits yesterday because well, yeah, I got the shits with it. I was mucking around with it for like 4 hours just trying to get shit done, and yeah, I couldn't find anything. And then I messaged the old owner, and well, when I said the old owner, the guy that built the car 10 years ago, and he said, oh, did you put that fat wire on the starter? Because there's a medium wire, a small wire, and a big wire, and the big wire is like the main power wire. So I hunted around the engine bay, and it was tucked right in the front down here, and it's this big bastard here. And he said that goes on the post as well as the medium wire, because that sends power to all the LS stuff. That runs all the LS computer and the pump and everything. So that's probably our main reason why we have no pump, no starter. I've taken the starter back off again and taken the posts and the nuts back off, and I'm gonna put it all back together, and fingers crossed we can get this thing started. That's making me look like an absolute dickhead. But you live, you learn. It's all about learning. All right, that's all together. I'm nervous. Let's see if we got pump and starter. So here for pump. Oh, they got pump, beautiful. I might let it pump a couple of times, because now let's make sure it's not in gear. All right. Yeah. Woo! Oh my god, it starts. Let's see if it goes into gear. I'm so scared. It goes into gear. It works. Alright guys, I'm so excited. It runs. I'm so keen. Yeah, that surprised the shit out of me when I heard the pump, and the battery's pretty flat, but it just started right away. That's what I really want. So had it running just for a little bit there, no leaks and stuff. So what I'm gonna do now is I just got the compressor fired up. I'm just gonna pump that rear tire, pump the other tires up, move the Skyline out of the way, and hopefully move it. You saw I put the clutch in, I rolled forward, and it goes into gear fine. So thank fuck for that. So that's all working mint. Yeah, holy shit, it's getting real now. So I know you guys have been waiting for this thing to pump tires up before my compressor starts going off. And yeah, I'll move this thing out. Under turn power for the first time. Let's see how we go. Got it primed. So loud. Now there's a brick behind me, so. Oh, no power steering. Woo. You gotta work that. Fuck me. Whew. All right, let's go around the block. See if all the gears work. This is scary. Oh, the steering's not too bad. Woo. That's stupid. That is stupid. Man, that steering's fucked. Oh, there's the brick. Now we gotta sit it on that brick. There we are. Holy shit, I made it. Oh my god, you can tell by my expressions that this thing's a little bit of an animal. I don't know what the hell was going on half the time. My arms are killing me just from that drive around the block because of no power steering, so might have to top up the system. Hopefully everything's connected. It's leaking water out the back. Like when you turn it off and then let it sit for a while, it leaks water out the back, so there might be a hose. Let's have a look under here. Don't know where that's coming from. Might be leaking from the top of the motor. Everything under here looks okay. No more oil leaks. I've got to try to get this wiring off of the exhaust, tuck it up there, cable tie it right up out of the way. That's why I didn't want to drive it for so long. It's so loud in there, guys. I couldn't, oh, my ears are reverbing right now. I can't believe we went for a first drive in it. I didn't think that was going to happen after what happened yesterday. One wire. All right, so just move the cars around, put the Skyline back in the driveway. My bash plate's hanging off for some reason, a bolt's come out. And here she is. I hope you could really gauge on camera how it sounded. It sounded nuts in the car, but I guess the camera never does justice to how freaking cool these things sound. But the gearbox was a little bit clacky. I'm not really happy with that. So hopefully adding a little bit more fluid in there, maybe some, like, you can buy that nylon add-on stuff for the gearing to sort of bump up the viscosity a bit. But yeah, worst case scenario, you might have to put another gearbox in it, but it's not terrible, but it's just a little bit clacky. I wasn't too happy with that. So right here is our brake in the exhaust system. So I'm going to buy a whole new rear section, which is a 3-inch rear section that goes all the way. It's leaking there as well. It's pretty rat shit. This is an X4 system. You can see it says it there. So I'm going to buy a whole new rear system. That way it's all brand new. The gearbox ain't leaking, which is perfect, and the rear main's doing its thing. It's not leaking, thank God for that. Today has been an absolute beautiful day, guys. Oh my God. And I can't go out because of stage 4 lockdown rubbish. Little disclaimer, I hope everyone in lockdown is doing okay mentally wise, and if things are bothering you, don't be afraid to speak up. We all go through it, and it's just part of life, and a lot worse things have happened in the past, and in our ancestors' times they've been through a lot worse than what we are now. So, and just take this every day as it comes, and know that every time we get closer to normality, we'll try and make it better than it was ever, because we know how easily things can get taken from us. So yeah, it gives us time to build piece of shits like this, and all the other projects I have lurking in the distance. So keep yourselves occupied, guys. Find hobbies, get yourself into cars, find a car, build one, find a piece of shit local, get it freighted over and start working on it. So after talking a lot of crap, just want to end the video here and just say to everyone, thank you for your patience. I'm sorry I haven't uploaded in the last 2 weeks. I've been trying just to get my hands on things, and like I said, by the time the adapter took to get here and stuff, it was just like waiting for that to come and then just sort of getting into the groove of working on it day by day, and we finally got there. It took us a week, but we finally got there, and I'd call it a success. So thank you all so much for watching all my videos, and thank you so much for anyone that subscribed. If you haven't subscribed, please consider it, because I have a lot more cool things coming, especially after lockdown, whether we have the four-wheel drive content, the race cars, the street cars, whatever. If you ever have any questions, contact me on my Instagram. I'll put it up on the screen, as well as my Facebook page. And if you have any further inquiries, I'm always free to talk on those platforms, and I'm always keen to answer everyone's questions, and I talk to every single person, I answer every comment, so go for it, don't be afraid. So enough talking rubbish, and we'll see you in the next episode, and hopefully we can do a skid in the GU. So I know you also want to see that, but I don't want to get arrested, so we'll see you later. Bye bye. For those of you that stuck around, I got a little treat. Just fired up the 180 after a few months, so I'll let you hear that. I'll show you a cute little dose. She's a cutie. Catch you later, everyone.